What's up? This is John W. Snyder. This is Release Rotation. Another week, another podcast, more sports happened, and other things happened in the world. Let's get down to a couple things. One thing with the NBA that I'm ecstatic about, because I can't stand the Lakers, is that they signed Dwight Howard. It's exciting if you're not a Lakers fan. And maybe it is exciting if you're a Lakers fan. I don't know. I think it's hilarious. I don't see how it can end well. And odds are I'll be proven wrong. But at this point, I'm okay with it that they signed Dwight Howard. I hope it backfires, and I hope it doesn't work out for the Lakers. That's how I really feel about it. So we'll see. Kind of funny. But that's really the only NBA news, other than, I guess, Harden's working on a one-legged shot. There was a dude in the movie Hoosiers that always shot off one leg, or at least in a couple scenes he did. And I don't remember if it was Jimmy Chitwood or another guy on the team, but I feel like I've seen the one-legged shot before. And now James Harden is trying to be creative and claim that that's his, but no, James, it's not. Pretty sure I saw it in Hoosiers before you did it this week. So I'll have to find the video and verify that, but I'm pretty sure that happened. Another thing that happened in sports that's big time is Andrew Luck has quit football. There have been a lot of hot takes, a lot of cold takes, a lot of stupid takes, and a lot of smart takes with his retirement. One of the funniest and stupidest was Doug Gottlieb saying that he tweeted and said, this is his tweet, I'm reading his tweet verbatim: "Retiring because rehabbing is too hard is the most millennial thing ever." And then he hashtagged Andrew Luck. I mean, I just think that's really ridiculous to say. I don't think it's the rehab that was too hard for him. I mean, just listening to him talk and everything, I just think he was tired of getting beat up and being injured all the time and having 300-pound men fall on top of him. I'm sure that played in part to his retirement. I think it's hilarious that Gottlieb threw in that it's a millennial thing, because it's too hard. Yeah, because no baby boomers have ever quit anything because it was too hard. Because no Gen Xers have ever quit anything because it was too hard. I don't know. Out of control. I mean, and then the tweets, obviously there were replies to that, and most, I haven't really actually seen any that supported that tweet or approved of it, but a lot of people were replying to Doug about him stealing credit cards, and like, I think that's irrelevant to the tweet. I think it's a stupid take too, to go at Doug about something that happened over 20 years ago that he's publicly talked about, that he, has admitted it's stupid. Like, he's talked about it so many times. He's talked about how stupid he was, how, he paid the dude back. Like, it's such a stupid take also by people going at Gottlieb over stealing credit card over 20 years ago. Come up with something better. It's not an argument. It's not a debate when you do that. Like, obviously the thing that Gottlieb said is ridiculous. That's the easy way to put it. Retiring because rehabbing is too hard is the most millennial thing ever. take it how you want, and who cares? Like, Gottlieb can say whatever he wants, He's talking head on television. Whatever gets clicks, whatever gets views, that's the world we live in. Unfortunately, we see that with sports takes, news, fake news and real news. It doesn't matter, but people just are there for, like trying to get clicks, trying to get views, want to get noticed, whatever it might be. And I did see another tweet after that. He tweeted to somebody and said, because someone asked him, I hope you're kidding, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, there is some truth in sarcasm. So, and then I guess today on Fox Sports Radio on the Gottlieb show, he said, people booing Andrew Luck is not the end of the world, and neither is my tweet. There are plenty of people that understand I'm a smartass, always have been, always will be. I'm actually an Andrew Luck fan, which is really funny because I was talking to some of my friends about Gottlieb when he was at Oklahoma State. We were there at the same time, and there were a lot of things that were in the news and quotes and stuff that he said, even then, that were very, him being a very big smartass. And so, take it for what it is. People are going to forget about this tweet in a week anyways, because that's also how the world works with social media now, is it's over. Like, sure, people are going to give him a hard time, whatever, and then that'll be it. So, shouldn't have said it. He did. So, obviously, he said it, so he meant it a little bit. And then what's funny, too, is his wife, Angie, replied on Twitter to him and says, to the tweet, and says, her quote is, says the guy who brought home oat milk from the grocery store today. Hashtag oat milk. It's pretty funny. But he can say whatever he wants, whatever. You don't have to listen to the Doug Gottlieb show. You don't have to watch Doug Gottlieb. You don't have to. Like, you have a choice. You don't have to follow him on Twitter. Unfollow him if you don't like it. But with social media and everything, everyone has to voice their opinion about it. So, it's the world we live in. It's pretty stupid, but that's where we're at. So, we'll be right back after this break. And we are back. So I got a question. I feel like it's a question that gets asked to kids all the time. And that question is, what do you want to be when you grow up? I gotta be honest. At 39, I find myself asking that question once every week or so. What do I want to be when I grow up? It's a great question for all of us. Some of us might already be doing what we want to do when we grow up. For example, which I know I've talked about, one is my brother. He wanted to be a meteorologist since second grade when he tried to make a thunderstorm happen in his bedroom. And that was, I don't know how old you are now in second grade, 8? It was over 40 years ago. He's been doing it ever since, basically. So he knew what he wanted to be when he grew up. I'm 39, still trying to figure it out. And so, what do you want to be when you grow up? Are you already doing what you want to be? Are you already doing it? If not, why not? If you are, then that's awesome, and kudos to you, because it's hard to figure out what we want to do. It's hard to figure out what we're good at. It's hard to understand what it is that we can excel at and can be good at, and that we also love to do. I asked that question obviously because when I ask questions on here, most of them pertain to me. And so, honestly, I'm not in the job that I want to be in for the rest of my life. I have a great job, but it's not what I want to be doing forever. It's also not what I thought I would be doing when I was 20. I thought I would be doing sports reporting, sports play-by-play, something like that. And life took twists and turns and put me where I am. And, had it not, I wouldn't have met my wife. So, I'm obviously thankful for those twists and turns for that reason. But now, that I have that and we have a great family, it's time to figure out what I want to do when I grow up, what I want to be. It's a funny question because when you're 5 to 10, when you get asked that, it's, I want to be a football player. I want to be a race car driver. I want to ride bikes. I want to play with my friends. Those kinds of things. And then you turn 39 all of a sudden and you get asked that question, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's a tough one. I know what I want to be, but it's like, how do you get there? And how do I get there? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. And that's what I'm doing with this podcast is I'm hoping this podcast one day gets me there. And again, I've said this also before, if you've listened to my podcast and other episodes, that I'd love to be an overnight success at 50. So I've got 10 years to become an overnight success. It's a marathon. And so I'm hoping, doing this podcast and learning new things and figuring out things that, something will come of it one day. And that I can actually make money doing what I love. And what I enjoy doing. Because I've asked the question too before, like, would you take half your pay to do something you love instead of what you're doing now? It's a good question. It gets you thinking. But, this podcast is a creative outlet for me. It definitely scratches that itch. I get to use my broadcast journalism degree. I get to talk. I get to edit. I get to think of ideas to talk about. The only thing I haven't used is my interview skills, which, let's be honest, are going to be rusty after 20 years, almost. So, I remember when I was an intern. I was an intern for a couple TV stations, but my favorite time was when I was still a student at Oklahoma State, and I was an intern for KFOR in the NBC station in Oklahoma City. And I got to hang out with a guy named Van Shea Ivan, who taught me a ton, was awesome, trusted me. So I got to do the Oklahoma State home football games, and after every game, I got to take the camera into the post-game presser. I got to ask a question if I wanted to. I got to record some game highlights. I recorded his stand-ups. And so, I was a 20-year-old kid doing that, 20, 21, 22, getting to do that. And I thought that's what I was going to do the rest of my life. And obviously things change. But, it's time to figure it out and get back to doing something like that. And that's what this podcast is. And so, obviously, I thank you for listening, to my, 20, 25 listeners who bear with me every week. I can't thank you enough. Even if I had 3 listeners, I'm still going to do this because it's what I want to do, and it's what I'm comfortable doing and what I know. And it's kind of fun too, because it takes me back to 20 years ago. Not that I want to be 20 again. I mean, I wish I was in that 20-year-old healthy me. But, where my life is now with my family, it's amazing. So, but doesn't mean I can't move forward and still do sports stuff, talk about sports, do this podcast, and maybe one day I will be what I want to be when I grow up. We will see what the future holds. But thank you so much for listening to this, as I ramble sometimes, as I talk about life things, but I also don't want to have regrets. And so it's one of those things, it's like, well, okay, what's going to happen at 50 though? If I do, would someone hire me at 50 to do sports stuff? Who knows? I don't think age matters. I think it's who you are and what you can bring to the table. So we'll see. Switching gears real quick. My buddy Joel, he started a podcast that I've talked about, Craft Your Own Coffee. And season 1, episode 1 came out today. Joel, it's like a 15-minute podcast. I'm halfway through it. It's great though. If you have any interest in coffee, it's very educational. He's got a lot of knowledge, and you're going to learn a lot. So please subscribe to Craft Your Own Coffee. It's a podcast. You can find it, I think, anywhere podcasts are found. For sure, Apple Podcasts and Anchor.fm. You can find Craft Your Own Coffee. So, Joel, he loves coffee, and he's been learning about it, and now he's got this platform of podcasting where he can talk about it and share that knowledge and that passion with others. So, do me a favor, find his podcast if you like coffee, or if you like Joel, for that matter, or me, and that's the other thing that I want from this podcast that I'm doing is I want to help others. I want to get other people where they want to be, and shout out the little guys. That's kind of the idea I had behind this anyways, but when I want to interview people, is that story behind the story. What is it that got you to where you are? Why are you doing what you're doing? And what are passions you have? And learning about Joel's story, it's not, he doesn't work in coffee. He might want to one day, own his own coffee shop. I could see him doing that. But he loves coffee and loves talking about it. And that's not his everyday job. So there you go. That's where I'm at right now. So take a listen. Craft Your Own Coffee. Find it where podcasts are found. That's all I got for this week. Thanks for listening. See ya.